Chapter 16, the Nuestra Familia Bank. All first lieutenants were in place in their respective positions. I oversaw East Hall and kept things running smoothly. The NF pretty much dominated DVI in every aspect of everyday program, from having key people in certain jobs to where the NF was aware of any unwanted guests that entered their domain or who left a tier, yard, or even the prison. This was a really elaborate system, and the NF had perfected it over time. As we expanded, new projects were coming together to fund and support the broadening family network. First, we set up a bank to receive incoming revenue. This was known as the Regimental Bank. Money was raised by various means, such as running a personal store operated by an NF member and selling donated items. Then the NF started selling drugs that came in from the streets. There was gambling revenue from card games, dice, betting on sports, horse racing, poker tables. Gambling happened on the main line and in each wing. Another money-making venture was prostitution. After being inside for so many years, away from females, some guys give in and turn towards their own kind for satisfaction. Oh shit. It happens still, and all the proceeds end up in the regimental bank of the Nuestra Familia. I don't believe that, man. I don't fucking believe it. But whatever. This was before my time. Soon after, some of the proceeds went into buying TVs for NF members. Other money was reinvested in drugs or supplies needed to keep the income flowing in. Yes, everything was coming together. The administration was aware of all this going on and turned a blind eye. They didn't want to know the details so long as peace was kept. Communication among the highest ranks between Bobo, Larry, and with DR on the main line was well established. We had our bases covered and contingency plans for whatever situations might come up. What we didn't expect was that a contingency plan would have to kick in within 9 months. Larry informed us that he was going to go home on parole. We had plenty of time for contingency plans, in this case to find a suitable reserve to take Larry's place. The eligible candidates for the job were Dickie Bird, Apple, or myself. One of us would be the new captain, and the decision was a task in itself. It was a warm, sunny June Saturday morning. The yard had just been released when I was given an envelope by Larry with a copy of the subdivision to the Constitution for the streets in it. Members were required to participate in an NF pre-release schooling program to show them the ways and means of the subdivision and how to connect with lieutenants and their regiments on the street. We had to keep all members in the loop for future endeavors in business ventures and training. With Larry going home soon, steps were being taken toward organizing crime to support the NF on the streets and inside as well. There were already other NF members who were doing things to bring in money for the family. Jesse James from Stockton was organizing the drug cartel for his neighborhood, also known as the regiment. He had pretty much corralled the business end of card clubs and entertainment clubs by selling them protection services. Mousy paroled to San Jose and had been organizing hit squads to take out NF dropouts that were getting in the way of conducting business, which was on the increase. Things were starting to move in the direction that the subdivision was set up for. Casper and Salinas was being schooled by Art B, who had a pool hall and some hotels on tap. They were also working with drug sales. Bunhead Huerto of Hayward had a regiment in the making, but was having a difficult time. The Emmett was already established there and were trying to get stronger. Competition between members ignited in varying degrees, but Bunhead was contributing. He was executed in Salinas sometime later. Crackers had a company in his regiment with Sammy V from Fresno. Crackers had no leadership skills and was having problems, so word was sent for Sammy V to take over in Fresno. Crackers was not happy about that. An internal war between him and Sammy broke out. Crackers ended up leaving the NF in disgrace and started his own group called F-14s. Years later, they became the Fresno Bulldogs. Watsonville had their own regiment with an NF member named Cat. I don't know how he got that nickname, but I would have liked to know. As more and more parolees were released from prison and found their way onto the streets, crime rates began to rise. Authorities on both sides of the prison walls noticed these facts and were in search of solutions to control the crime spree.